Hello, this is a very short video on how to prevent you from getting into trouble when you reboot your Linux machine when you're logged in remotely, or in other words, use the sysrq trigger. Let me first quickly tell you what happened to me a couple of times. As I was logged into my machine via an SSH connection, and for whatever reason I needed to reboot my machine, normally I would use the reboot command to do that. Of course, my session would be stopped, so I would lose the connection, but after a minute or so, my machine would be up again and I could reconnect. However, sometimes, for whatever reason, the system did not go down because it maybe failed to unmount an NFS mount or some other, usually network-related problem. Unfortunately, it did succeed to kill my SSH session, so I would not be able to reconnect again, simply because I had lost my connection and I wouldn't be able to troubleshoot. I finally figured out that there is a solution for it. Maybe it's not the most elegant one, but it definitely works. There is something which is called the sysrq key. Sysrq is short for system request, which is like a magic key on your keyboard, which in combination with other keys would let you instruct the kernel to react in a way you like, even if your system is not functioning properly anymore. Think of Alt sysrq plus I to forcefully kill all processes, or Alt sysrq plus S to flush all data to disk. And there are more, but obviously these are not very helpful if you have a remote connection via SSH. Now in /proc, as you probably know, you will find loads of kernel parameters and files that you can change on the fly. And the file that we are interested in is the /proc sysrq trigger. This is a file that will trigger sysrq as if you were using the sysrq key on your keyboard. So it depends on what you echo into the file with regards to how sysrq reacts. For example, to synchronize all file systems at once, you would store the lowercase s in the trigger file. Or if you want to unmount all mounted partitions, you could store the u in this file. But the one that was a solution to my problem was to reboot, or use the B option. So you would simply echo B into the trigger file. So what this would do is like you flick the switch. It means power off and power on the machine. That's basically what it means. And just to make sure that you don't necessarily lose any data, you first store an S in the file, and after that you store the B in the file. And then your system will reboot and you will be able to reconnect. So let's simply do it. In the top window, I'm logged into my machine, and in the bottom window, we see the console of that machine, and we need to reboot it. Now first I check the file and see it's empty. Then I echo an S into the file, and in the console it notifies me of an emergency sync. Then I echo the B into the file and the system is reset immediately. That's exactly what I needed. And of course I lose my connection, and then I can reconnect again.